Hi guys, hope you're well and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Now this is my second attempt, admittedly, at recording this video, but I think I'm in a much better sort of state of mind and a state of focus to, to do it to a standard that doesn't really make me go, oh, this is terrible, let's delete it and try again. But that is beside the point. We're on the ground at San Jose, near San Francisco. We'll be taking a run down to the south of California, more specifically to Burbank, and more specifically to the newly released version 2 of Orbx's Burbank scenery. And yeah, the sort of scenery around Burbank, so the topography around Burbank and the approaches into Burbank are all very challenging and very interesting. And then there's also the fact that the runways at Burbank are ridiculously short. So yeah, it should hopefully be quite an experience trying to bring the 7.3 in and then landing it. But that is beside the point. So, LA Center, well, when I last checked, were online, and now they've gone offline. So that's all very nice of them, isn't it? But yeah, we'll hope that ATC come online. If they don't come online, then they just don't come online. But yeah, it should hopefully be interesting nonetheless. So with that being said, let's get ourselves into the cockpit and get ourselves set up. So, I've already aligned the IRSs while we were waiting, just to save us on some time. And what I can do is I can set our payload up. So we'd be flying with 112.4 thousand pounds as our zero fuel weight, which, well, according to SimBrief, gives us 123 passengers, but according to PMDG gives us 111, so we'll just go with 111. And fuel, I believe, I'm not set up actually, right, so we'll be taking about £10,500 of fuel, or £10,546 to be more specific. And yeah, I believe with that, we've already set up our fuel. So what we can do is we can turn off fasten seatbelt signs, so we can turn a yaw damper on as well. And what we can do just a tiny bit is turn the APU on, but first I want to set a few things up. So say we're cruising at flight level 310 and the airport elevation is just you know what, I don't even know why I'm estimating this, I can just have a look at my chart. The airport elevation is 778 feet, so we'll just set 800 feet into our pressurization panel for our landing altitude. Okay, that's out of the way. We can just go to our FMC and load in our flight plan. So we'll select that. Flight number today is Southwest 2408. So we can enter that into the route page on our FMC. The other thing I want to do is pre-select Unicom. So 122.8 pre-selected. Well, you know what, I'll tune in now, why not? Well, weather at Burbank shows winds of 200 at 3. Now, this can go one of two ways. Either we can get given the ILS runway 8, or we can do the 4 stacks visual into 1.5. Now again, that's all sort of assuming ATC comes online. If not, then I reckon we'll just do the rolling stacks and see what happens. But I digress. So, flight plans are all loaded in. We'll do the perf in it in just a second. So, we're taking off from runway 30 right on the Spartans 1 departure with the VLREE transition, there we go, and execute that. Go to the, you know what, we'll set our arrival in as well, so what you can do is you can just set that in. So we're doing a rocket to arrival, the HONZK transition. And right, RNAV alpha for runway 15 seems to be what the aircraft would prefer to do, and we'll transition via VASCU. So I'll just set that up just in case. But if we are going to approach, we'll probably end up doing a visual. Okay, there's overcast at 1,000 feet, so we'll probably just end up being told to do the ILS. Yeah, I'll just set up the ILS then. Right, ILS Zulu HONZK transition, and we can transition via MIC-A and execute. Okay. Cool beans. Right, perfinite page. 0 fuel weight 112.4, cost index of 38. We're cruising at flight level 310, so we'll tune that in as well. And our reserves today, according to SimBrief, are 4.2 tons. There we go. Okay. In the meantime, I will turn the APU on, so just wait for that fuel pump to pressurise and fire up the little jet engine and back. Okay, back to the FMC we go. Now, according to VAS, we can take off with a double D rate and a flex of 39, so we will do exactly that. Wind at Burbank, according to the not Burbank, sorry, at San Jose, is, according to the METAR, variable at 3. So we'll just do it, set it as 0 at 3. So we'll go back, flaps 5 for departure, double click our CG in, and our V speeds are as follows. So 123, 125, 130. Okay. Go to the MCP quickly. On both flight directors. LNAV and VNAV. On the auto throttle and set 130 knots. Okay. Back to the overhead. The APU is now on, so what we can do is switch to the APU generator, switch the APU bleed on, set the isolation valve to auto, and just let that do the rest of its thing. Set the parking brake. We'll go to the other FMS of this, so go to the ground services page, and just get rid of the loaders. They're only aesthetic anyway. Okay. Go back to the doors page actually. Oh, the front door's already closed, that's fine. Okay. So, in that case, what we can do is go to ground services again, get rid of the chocks, and I'll put this onto the legs page, why not? Okay. Just wait for all of these ground services to disappear, and then we can call for pushback. In the meantime, I'll actually pre-plan it. So, if that would like to load, right. So, best pushback to rescue. We'll do a nose right pushback, given we're departing off the off 30 right. Right, that'll do for now. And we have got a master caution, so it's elec, fuel, anti-ice, hydraulic and overhead, that's fine. Okay, bring the yoke back up. I don't want them that low. It's a bit... yeah. Okay. So we're going to get ready for pushback, so I'm squawk mode Charlie. And... well, these ground services are pretty much gone anyway, so I'll just request a pushback now.
Ground. This is ground. Stand by.
No one to our left, no one to our... well, static aircraft to our right, which I can't really get rid of at the moment. But that is beside the point. I can turn traffic on both sides. So traffic there and traffic there. And take a quick peek at the overhead, turn our beacon light on before we forget that. Put the
Okay, sir. The
that's all
bypass
fine.
pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground
We've got
equipment
no
is
fuel at the
removed.
centre, so just be waiting
The
for
parking
fuel
brakes are
pumps for
set.
us.
You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
Okay, runway heading here is 306.
We are
So
cleared
just
for start and push.
get that dialed in.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Can release the parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing
Stop the
pushback.
block
You
timer.
can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Same procedure as before. To the overhead, all the fuel pumps on, packs can go off, isolation valve can stay on auto, and you can flick the starter for engine number 2. Just keep an eye on our N2, wait for that to increase to about 20%, which will happen relatively quickly, so 17, 18, 19, 20, and bring the fuel in. Quick peek outside. You can hear number 2, and you can see number 2 coming alive. And there's us, just vibing. Or well, virtual us, just vibing. Okay, that can stay on, you know what, I'll zoom that in one notch to 10. That can stay on 20. So, soon we'll hear the starter click off, and by soon I mean literally now. And with that, it's a good start on number 2. We'll do the same for number 1. So wait for the N2 to rise to 20 again, which will happen a lot quick. Well, which will happen relatively quickly as well. So 18, 19, 20. Bring the fuel in, and we should be done with our pushback right about
Okay,
now.
pushback completed. Please set your
Set
parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
San Jose traffic, Southwest 1069, 20 miles south, RMP, runway 30 right, San Jose.
Roger. Good engine start.
Right, so
Cleared
there's
to
someone actually
disconnect. See
landing
you at the side.
at
Have a
San
good
Jose as
flight.
well, so I'll keep an eye out for them.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Okay, so get the click of the starter in now, and we'll switch the generators to the engine generators. Turn the AP bleed off, engine bleeds on, packs on. Just check our Gen 1 and Gen 2, which is fine, and kill the APU. Turn the probe heats on. I know this aircraft's got auto probe heats. Why is there an overheat thing on engine 2? I'm sure that's not meant to happen. Right. Okay, that is very interesting. I've never actually had that one before. Don't even have failures turned on. Right, menu, PMDG setup, aircraft failures. No, yeah, no failures active. So, I don't know. Right, go back to that page. Yeah, there's still an overheat warning on that hydraulic system. That is really strange. It's not giving us any sort of issues for now. So I reckon we can just ignore it, given that it'll just cool down when we take off anyway. I'm going to get so slated for this, I swear down. Right, flaps 5. We can set our trim to 6.59 and do a flight control check. So, we'll left 6.5 is give or take there. And do a check on our rudder, make sure we've got full travel, which we do. And you can release the parking brake and turn our taxi light on and proceed. yeah, that overheat warning better extinguish at some point. I don't even know why it's there. I've never had it happen to me. And it's only 18 degrees Celsius. At San Jose as well, so it shouldn't really be giving me any issues. I'm genuinely just going to be keeping an eye on that warning the entire time. That's really, really strange. I've genuinely never had that happen to me. At all. Well, some sort of electrical system overheat. But I don't know which electrical system that could be, which electrical system it... Well, it's electrical system number 1. But I don't know if that's just a bug or an actual overheat. Oh well. Right. Enough of that. We seem to still be able to do everything we need to. Take a quick peek outside and make sure that's all working as it should be, which it is. Again, that is really, really strange. It's not an error I've had before, but an error I'm sure won't be too detrimental. Another thing I can do as well is just reset our
San Jose traffic, Southwest 1069, 5 mile final, runway 30 right, San Jose.
Just set that to 310, and we can also tell traffic that, you know, we sort of know company exists and that we're ready. Well, we're almost ready to depart as well. So, San Jose traffic, Southwest 2408, taxiing to runway 30 right for departure. We are aware of company on 5 mile final, so we keep an eye out for them and line up after they've touched down San Jose. I'm sure you'll appreciate that. You know what, in the meantime, we can keep an eye out for it, and there you go, there he is. Just about to see a little silhouette coming in. Right, that overheat warning's extinguished. That's good. So, equipment cooling clearly doing a very good job of things. Right, logo light can stay off, given it's bright as day. But what we can do is do a flow rest, I think. So I've just armed my auto brake, flaps set to 5 and down. Trim is set. Lights I'll leave for now, but engine start switches can go to continuous. Turn off lights I'll keep on for now, strobe light and landing lights I'll keep off for now as well. There we go. There he is. Hello! Right. I'm going to keep an eye out just for this landing. That's another 737-700. Nice. Donk. Right, okay. TCAS can go to TARA. And we can turn our turn-offs on. Taxi light off. Strobe light on. And San Jose traffic, Southwest 2408, lining up and waiting runway 30 right, San Jose. Right, okay, here looks like a good spot, so we'll stop ourselves there. And just turn the...
San Jose traffic, Southwest 1069 is clearing runway 30 right at Juliet, taxiing to Terminal Bravo, San Jose.
Right, okay. I'll just keep an eye out for him. He looks just as, well, as good as AK did, so landing lights on, stop clock, and give us some frijoles. Use parking brake and toga. And San Jose traffic, Southwest 2408, taking off runway 30 right, San Jose traffic. Right, power is set and airspeed is alive. Flight director doing its thing.
80 knots.
We'll keep some forward pressure until about 100, which is now. Again, try and keep ourselves centered.
Rotate.
Rotate. Beautiful, beautiful. Bring a gear up and let's quick to that side. There we go. What a gorgeous departure. Okay, just keep ourselves hand-flying the aircraft a tiny bit. See the sprawl of San Jose develop behind us. And just listen to the middle marker do its thing. And with that we can just bring in the autopilot. So, right, unable to 30 knots at this next waypoint, that's fine. That's just a maximum speed restriction anyway, so I don't know why it's kicking up a fuss. Right, one thing I would like to do as well is turn terrain radar on, because there's some rather precarious terrain in this bit of the world. But I'll keep us at 230 for this. You know what, yeah. I'll just keep the flaps down for this turn on, bring them up in just a bit. I believe, if I can read the chart properly, it's a turn to a heading of 125. So I'll just set heading 125 into the MCP. And just let that do its thing. Quick wing view for those that care, if I can find the correct camera. There we go. Just watching all of San Jose develop beneath us. Oh, that looks like a sewage treatment plant as well. Yeah, that is a sewage treatment plant. Look, there's a bunch of settling tanks on either side. That's one of the few things that you get taught in civil engineering to look out for. That's pretty cool. Right. There is an altitude restriction at the next waypoint, so we'll just level change our way up. To the just to our cruising altitude. What we can do as well is do a little auto takeoff flow. So turn-offs can go off, engine start switches can go back to off. Landing gear can go to off, start speed to 250, disarm the auto brake, and the rest is all looking fine and dandy. So, take a quick peek at the scenery around us. Look at that, that's fantastic. Nice thin, low-hanging cloud as well. There's the airport, standing from whence we departed somewhere over there. It's all very, very cool and good. Okay, so also zoom out our ND a bit. And it's... So we're apparently not direct HONZK, despite the fact that that's what SimBrief has been telling us, but oh well, okay. With that, we have somewhat successfully departed San Jose. We're on our way to Burbank, so, well, as I said, I don't know if ATC will be online, if ATC will be coming online. There's 10,000 anyway, we can turn off our landing lights and seatbelt signs. But yeah, I don't know if ATC will come online, but if they, regardless if they do or don't, it should be relatively interesting. So, I hope you've enjoyed the departure out of San Jose. That is quite a bit bumpy. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed the departure out of San Jose, and here's hoping the arrival into Burbank will be pretty much just as interesting. I'll see you around, and yeah, I'll see you around in a bit. Take care. Welcome back everybody, and you now join me into the descent into Burbank. Now, a little bit of a sit rep. So, the wind is now variable at 5 knots, no ATCs online. Well, I say no ATCs online, no ATC covering Burbank is online, ATC covering San Jose, which is the airspace from whence we literally just came from, has gone online, so sod's law I suppose. But that's beside the point. Now normally I'd say we'll shoot the 4 stacks, but there are weather minima that need to be followed, and these weather minima are not being adhered to at the moment. There is a broken ceiling around 1500 feet, and for the 4 stacks visual there needs to be a ceiling of 5,500. So, we're pretty much stuck doing the ILS for runway 8. And, yeah. So we started the ILS for runway 8 so we can get that tuned in now. So, it's a course of 079. And the ILS frequency is 109.5, so we can just transfer that in, set that, transfer it back out. Like what? Not like, we'll just keep it as is on nav 2. Now the runway at Burbank is extremely short, but auto brake free will be just fine for it. So we'll set auto brake free, and we can go to our init ref page, and for once we're using flaps 40 for landing. Then we'll set that in as well. So we'll just keep following the rocket to arrival as we are now, to then transition onto the ILS for runway 8. So what we can do as well is, we don't want to repeat it by beepers, so I'll turn the fasten seatbelt sign on. landing lights can stay off for now, given we're still above 10,000. Take a quick look outside and watch whichever mountain range this is develop underneath us. Tell you what, that road down there looks like a sick drive, especially in weather like today. But we're not here to drive through SoCal, we're here to land in SoCal. And I was fairly sure I zoomed that out, but I didn't, so... Well, that's not that deep really, so... Resync our heading bug again. Okay, so terrain radar will keep on as well, given again there is some very, very precarious terrain around here. And you know what, just for the sake of it, I'll turn the terrain radar on the other side as well. We are being jostled around here, aren't we? Right, so any moment now we'll be intercepting the localizer. Well, not the localizer, sorry. Any moment now we'll technically be intercepting the localizer, but that's still a while off yet. That was a mandatory 7,000 at mid-K. Which is actually exactly what we're following now, so... Right, drag required apparently, so drag we shall get. The Ivan's mid-K, that looks fine. Okay, back to the unit ref page. And why is it slowing us down? No, we can keep it at 250. And bring the speed brakes back in. And since we're passing 10,000, we can bring the landing lights out as well. Okay. You know what, we'll reset that to 7,000. And then from mid-K we'll begin our descent down to 3,000, and I'd say at mid-K we'll start configuring ourselves for landing. But you know what? We can start to do that now. Slow down to about 220 knots and start to bring some flaps out. Just wait for speed to bleed off a tiny bit. There we go. Bring out flaps 1. Flaps 2 as well. And flaps 5. That's all good. Just keep on following the nav path coming in. And we can also alert. Well, we can also alert traffic that we unfortunately do exist and will be making their lives hell. So, Burbank traffic, Southwest 2408, 6 miles outbound mid-K to transition to ILS runway 8 approach, Burbank. Okay, so, we've done our bit. Wait for the others to do their bit. Can on the speed brakes as well. Given we might want to do that this time round. I honestly didn't arm the speed brakes once, and I'll never forgive myself for it. Right, set our MCP down to 3,000, given that VNAV will just adhere to our restrictions and take us down the rest of the way if needs be. And in an ideal world I want to be about 180 with the gear down by the time we intercept the localizer. It's about a 6 mile run from Buddy, which is that fix, to the threshold. So the aim of the game here is get configured as quickly as possible. So there's mid-K, and at mid-K we'll begin our turn in. zoom that in and zoom that in. Here I'll begin to slow this down to 180 knots. Oh, they really weren't joking when they said it's hazy. That's crazy. I mean, hell, we're in California, so I was surprised it's hazy. It's probably not the only thing that's hazy in California. Okay, that was terrible. I promise I'll stop. Okay. We're on an intercept course for localizer, so we can arm the approach mode. I know 210 is the flaps 10 speed, but I'll just want that to bleed off a tiny bit more before I bring them out. No, that's good enough for me. Flaps 10. That's already causing a fair bit of drag, which is exactly what we need. Okay. So Silex we want at or above 3,700, which looks like it's making, so it's not too bad. You know what I said about 180 and gear down? Make that 160 and gear down. Right. Now, bring the gear down, that'll give us a nice bit of drag as well. Already hear it punching the air. You know what? We can go with flaps 25 as well. Just turn the engine start switches and the turn offs on as well. Again, I want to be configured as early as possible. There is not much margin for error, if any at all. So, yeah, we really want to be on the ball here. Yeah, this will do us fine for now, and I believe once we've made the intercept, we'll be Gucci pretty much. Oh, we're on VNAV profile at the moment as well, so it's not too bad. Okay. White Diamond's coming in, so we should have a localizer very soon. And we'll give traffic another ring as well, so Burbank traffic Southwest 2408, established on the ILS runway 811.5 out, Burbank. What's vPilot keeping up a fuss with now? Ah, okay, I forgot to download some Atlas Air stuff. I told myself I'd download those, but I clearly didn't, so... Oh my god, this is terrible. Yeah, little wonder why the visual isn't being used at the moment. Bloody hell. This is actually terrible. Right, go VREF +5, so flaps 30, and we can go flaps 40 as well. Again, give us all the drag we can have. Missed approach altitude at Burbank is 4,600, so it's a climbing, well, climb on runway heading to 1,300. Then a right turn to heading 210. So I'll tune that in now as well. Okay. This is genuinely one of the scariest landings I've ever done in the sim. Right, we've also got no objections to anyone on the ground. The annoying thing is there's someone Well, there's someone at Burbank, but I don't know if they're on VATSIM. Because I'm using the Volanta map at the moment. There's nothing coming up on TCAS. So the aircraft that's lined up is probably offline. But I'll call traffic anyway, so Burbank traffic, Southwest 2408, 6 miles out, runway 8, Burbank. I'm honestly desperate for a not go around. That's another thing I forgot to set my decision height. So it's 1,075 feet here. So I'll scroll up very quickly to just set that before we're in. And there's that haze they were on about. Right, we will make it to 1,075 before we hit 1,075. There's 800. This is the most desperate scrolling I've ever had to do anywhere. There's 1,000. $1,073, 74, 75. Okay. So, flaps are all the way down. Auto brakes set to 3, speed brakes are armed. All the lights are set. Let's bring her in. Eventually. I genuinely cannot see the runway. Right, now I can see the runway. Take the autothrottle out. Right. Burbank traffic, Southwest 2408 on a 2 mile final, runway 8. Right. Bring the throttle back. And, given I can see the runway, just about, my aircraft. Right. Let's keep ourselves on profile, or at least attempt to keep ourselves on profile. Don't want to go too low here, we don't want to be too high here, we want to sort of ace this. Now, we're not looking for smoothness here, we're looking for just getting it down, getting us slowed down so we don't veer off the threshold. Right, there's minimums, we can continue. More of the runways being, well, visible. We've bled off a bit too much speed, but that's fine. Right, just
glide
make...
slope, glide slope, glide slope.
There's a glide slope warning,
glide slope,
but that's fine.
Glide slope, glide slope, glide slope, glide slope, glide slope. 10.
Right, idle, hold that flat. Get us down. And all reversers, manual braking. My word, that was terrifying. Right, just get ourselves slowed down quickly enough. And with that, welcome to Burbank. My god, that was nothing short of terrifying. Disarm the auto brakes, bring the flaps up, bring the speed brake back in, and just turn the terrain radar off. On both sides. That was incredible. Incredibly good or incredibly bad, I don't care. It was a bit off centre, but I promise I'll fix that. Oh my god. Right, landing lights can go off, taxi light can go on, APU can go off, turn-offs can go off as well. Engine start switches can go off. No, anti-collision light we want on. Right, okay, I'll find the click spots. Like the... Oh my word. It's a very Brad Trousers approach, that. Right. Burbank traffic, Southwest 2408 has cleared the runway. Right. Okay. Strobes of... No, beacon light I want on. Why did I turn it off? Okay. TCAS can go back to... well, TCAS can go off, transponder can stay on. You know what? Let's take Alpha 2. Taxi light can go off. It's in the nick of time too, given the APU gen has just come online. My word. I need a second to breathe after that. That went a lot better than I thought it would, considering the weather. Right, the 737-700 line is right at the front, or rather, is rather the furthest out at Burbank. So, right, we can not chuck on the brakes that hard, not land the aircraft. Right, we can roll forward and light tap on brakes. There we go. Parking brake on. Go to our overhead. APU has started. Turn to the APU generators. Turn the engine bleeds off and the APU bleed on. Go to the menu, FS Actions, Ground Services, and we are loading by stairs today. So, with that, off go the engines, and off goes that timer at exactly 1 hour. Fantastic. Seatbelt signs can go off, and we can go back to our FMS, set the chocks. You know what, we'll just go for pit power here, why not? Okay, and disable the parking brakes now that we've got chocks. Just keep the APU running for now, and we'll bring the stairs and the loaders in as well. So, stairs and loaders can both go on. I don't know if it's the can of cola I've had now, or just how spooky that approach was, but my word, my heart is literally out of my chest at the moment. Oh my god. Right. We'll wait for the aircon unit to come on. Turn a beacon light and the unneeded fuel pumps off. We'll take a quick peek outside. Just wait for the aircon unit to arrive, which it is now. Oh my god, I don't know where to start here. That was wild. Okay, Pro Peats we can turn off as well. And once we hear the aircon unit doing its thing, we'll turn the APU off, and no, that was not the button, not the key on it to press. But there's the aircon unit. There it is being connected. There's us. Goodness me. Right. Okay. That's the aircon unit in. And we can kill the APU. Well, switch to ground power first. Open up that isolation valve, turn the APU bleed off, and kill the APU. With that, thank you very much for watching. Again, not my greatest landing, not my worst landing, but considering the circumstances, I am very, 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 very happy with that. Now, we can take a quick look around the airfield as well, given this has been recently updated. And the one thing I was going to say, the one thing that struck me when looking at the charts of the airfield were just how close the stands are. to the runway. Like, there are photos of 737s populating these stands. There's even a photo of like a 737 on this stand while another one is landing. There's a few more stands around the corner there. Again, they're all also very close to the runway. Now, you thought midway was bad. This is a whole different kettle of fish. And if the haze is as thick as it was today, then you bet you're in for a fun time. Well, I certainly was. I'm still trying to catch my breath. That was genuinely heart-wrenching. There's a main terminal building. I don't know why. Well, PMDG basically force you to bring the bus in for unloading. The bus is also phasing through the building. But no. Normally you'd just deplane out of these stairs and go through there, I believe, to go to the terminal building. But gotta do what we gotta do. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that, and yeah, at some point I will land perfectly into Burbank. Today just wasn't that time, so but we have made it onto the ground. We can walk away from his landing, and I did get it on video somehow, so it wasn't too bad in the end. Again, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you again for the next video. Take care.